Hi everyone, welcome back. So in today's video I want to start something a bit different. So I've decided to start a kind of like a series or episode of taking care of the feet every week. So having said that, I want to start taking care of my feet every week so that I can improve its appearance over time. I haven't been taking care of my feet for quite some time in the past days, weeks, and maybe months of this year, and I decided that has to change, and let me start improving on my system of taking care of my feet. So I want to do this system for like maybe 2 months or 3 months, depending on how they will look. Not that I'm going to stop, but I just want to be a little bit consistent so that they improve gradually. And I thought I should make videos on that and also encourage anyone or you guys to join me in this whole system. Whether you're a female or a male, it's important to take care of your feet. So the section or the area that I'll be doing this whole process from is right behind me, just on this chair, couch, or sofa, whatever I want to call it. And we can be tracking the progress of our feet or the status of our feet every week and become happy with what we'll be getting out of them. So here are some of the items and tools I'm going to be using for this process that I've displayed on this armrest kit. I'm also going to be using a dish and 2 towels and a bucket with cold water and one with hot water. Then I'm not sure if I will or will not be putting on these fuzzy stockings after the whole process. One thing I also wanted to say is that please don't stress yourself over this whole process. If you can't do it every week, try to do it once in 2 weeks or once in 3 weeks. I know that all of us have got different types of schedules and programs, and sometimes they might be really pressing that you can't follow through in a consistent manner, but just do what you can do. This whole process is supposed to be a happy process, a relaxing process, and you have to do it in a healthy manner for yourself because it's a personal task. So if you can't do it consistently every week, just do it like I've said, after 2 weeks or after 3 weeks, and I'm sure you'll still be able to see a gradual improvement after that. But just try to challenge yourself in a healthy way, and once you get off of the consistency, just try to put yourself back in afterwards. So let's start the whole process right now. The first thing you need to do is to choose a comfortable chair, then shield the chair with a cloth, a bathing towel, chitenge, or wrapper, just to prevent it from getting dirty. To be honest, I wouldn't recommend cutting of nails before soaking. I'd rather you soak your feet first and then cut your nails thereafter, just to prevent unnecessary breaking and just to make the cutting of nails easy. Yeah, I don't know why I did this. I guess I forgot. So that's why I was saying that I haven't taken care of my nails in a long time, my toenails in a long time, or my feet rather in a long time. But soak your feet first and then cut the toenails. It's better that way. So ready to soak up. First goes in the hot water, then the cold water to dilute it, and then fill with your hand so that it's at your desired temperature. Then next I'll be using a shampoo to help lather up the water and help to remove the dirt from my feet. Oops, I almost forgot to lather up my water. So here I'm just using my water to create the lather. Don't forget that. Another thing to remember is whilst you're soaking your feet, don't forget to apply a cuticle softener or remover to help further soften the dead skin around the toenails and the cuticles and make it easier for you to remove later on. But don't worry, if you don't have a cuticle remover, just soak your feet for a longer period in the water. So now getting down to business, pushing of the cuticles. You can either use a metal cuticle pusher or a plastic one or an orange wooden stick. But for me, because I've got really tough cuticles, I am going to be using a metal one instead. So gently push back your cuticles so that you don't hurt yourself. Notice that whilst I'm pushing back my cuticles, the other foot is still soaking in the water. So don't remove the other foot because it will become difficult for you to push the cuticles on that foot. Anyway, as you continue on watching the video, you will notice that I'm alternatively putting my feet in the water and removing them. Once you're happy with how your nail plate looks in terms of no clingy cuticles, you can move on to the next step, which is to remove the dead skin around your nails. So this is a cuticle tool. There's so many cuticle, this cuticle, that is cuticle pusher, cuticle tool. Sometimes it can get confusing, but you use this cuticle tool to gently remove the excess dead skin around your toenails. Just be careful with this tool because sometimes you might slide it a little too deep, that instead of just kind of like scraping off the dead skin, you end up injuring yourself. So just be careful with it and practice, and in no time your hands and fingers will get used to the rhythm and movement of the tool. The Glam and Glory Scrub. So just like its name, I'll be using this to scrub my feet. This is one of the cheapest brands of scrubs I have come across, and I learned about it through my sister. If you are uncomfortable, you can use a natural based or organic based scrub, but I didn't want to use that and I didn't have that, so I just decided to use this scrub instead. When scrubbing your feet, what I've learned over time is that you need to scrub your toes. Why? Because the toes tend to get a bit dark due to friction and direct exposure to the sun. So you need to scrub them in a circular motion gently to help soften them up. Then don't forget to go in between the toenails because those are areas for itchiness and funny infections. Then next, after the toes, then scrub the mid part of the foot in circular motions as well. Then next, the pivot or hinge area that connects the lower leg to the foot, because that tends to get dark and hard as well. Then don't forget the back of the foot where there is something like a ligament or tendon, because that tends to get dark and hard as well due to strappings from shoes, slippers and stuff like that. And your ankle, don't forget your ankle because it tends to get dark. Then behind your toenails and toes because they can get smelly, and around each toenail just to help further enhance the softness of the skin and prevent dead skin from growing back quickly. Then scrape off any dead skin on your heels. And actually, ever since that video I recorded previously on how to get rid of cracked heels, I haven't had cracked heels ever since. That's last year, maybe end of last year or something. For me, I found that a Pumice or Pumice stone helps to somewhat remove newly developing cones, or at least helps to reduce the visibility of odd cones. We can't forget about our legs, so I'll be scrubbing my legs and my knees just to make sure that they improve in their radiance and also to get rid of dead skin. I have a bit of darkened knees, but that's because in my childhood moments I used to play a lot on my knees. but I'm learning now that I have to continuously take care of them through scrubbing and just giving them that tender love and care. And I'm also slowly being reminded by other people and people on the internet on how to take care of nails. At least the reminders help a lot. Then after the scrubbing process is done, the next thing you want to do is to rinse your feet and your legs so that any remains of the scrub are properly removed from the legs, the feet and the toenails. Then the next thing you want to do is to moisturize your legs and your feet so that the little moisture that they have retained will help absorb the moisturizing product nicely. In this case, I'm using glycerine and not lotion because I didn't have lotion at the moment. You can use whatever moisturizer you have, but glycerine just works as well. Massage. So while you're moisturizing your feet, you also want to take advantage of this moment to give yourself a soothing massage. Glycerine isn't the best product to use to give yourself a massage because it doesn't allow your hands to glide along your feet nicely. But use whatever you're using and just pay attention to the tension points and press them firmly, and that feels also heavenly. So after moisturizing your feet, the next thing you want to do is to sanitize and wipe the toenails so that the oils that were on the toenails are removed to help facilitate the adhesion of the polish on your toenails. This is a good time to also snip off any excess skin that remained and that you couldn't get hold of during the soaking process. So at this point I was still deciding between using a nail strengthener or an ultra growth nourishing nail polish. So I decided to go for the ultra growth nourishing nail polish, and this is by the brand Ruby Kisses. Now, because I sanitized my toenails and part of my toes, I literally rubbed off or wiped off the moisturizer that I put on. So I'm just going to apply that back on. Now, don't worry, we're almost done. This time around, everybody knows how important the cuticle oil is. And I'm just applying my cuticle oil, which is lemon infused, still by Ruby Kisses, on all my nails, or rather on all my toenails, and I'm going to be massaging each toenail so that the cuticle oil can penetrate in and do its work. But still, if you don't have a cuticle oil, just use an extra amount of your glycerine or lotion or whatever moisturizer you're using to moisturize your feet and massage in. Then next, just apply a bit of baby powder underneath your feet to help keep the freshness and also prevent your feet from picking up tiny particles from the ground. Then lastly, give your feet a stretch from all of that relaxing trauma of scrubbing. These are the type of stretches I did for my feet, but you can do whatever stretches are soothing and comfortable for yourself. as always, thank you guys for watching and see you next week.